A DFS show with John Impemba and James Grande.
What is going on, FA Nation? John Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS Playbook preview show. We're looking at the Friday 8-game main slate over on DraftKings starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And guess what, James? They gave us a 10 p.m. slate. We have the 10 p.m. Warriors Clippers,
AKA
Late Night Hammer.
Damn right it is.
Yeah, I have Christmas gift from the DraftKings here, giving us that.
Maybe that's their New Year's resolution.
Yeah, could be. Unfortunately, that Late Night Hammer may suck. No Steph Curry, no Draymond Green for the Clippers in that one. Or for the
and it's the Clippers.
And it's the Clippers. Not great, Bob, but we're here anyways. Coming off a pretty interesting Thursday slate. Those of you who, right as we got off the show, the live show at 6:00, Giannis out, Lillard out. Everything that we wanted to happen, basically, it happened in reverse. We watched Javon Carter knock down like 9 threes out of nowhere. Tal Horton Tucker sucked. Cam Whitmore was him once again. For those of you who played our guy Cam Whitmore tonight.
Cam Himmore.
Grande, 100% correct. Telling you all, play SGA, liking SGA. SGA, slate high score, 72, 73 DraftKings points at 15% under, depending on what contest you guys had entered. Atlanta, Chicago is a vibe. That game went down late, and all the fantasy points for Levine, Kobe White, Jalen Johnson, you name it. All the big guys scored in that game there. DeAndre Hunter off the bench was great. So that game lived up to expectations with its 240 total. So hopefully we can keep the good times rolling, and we can get on to this 8-game slate where 6 teams are on the second leg of a back-to-back. So that is going to be something to pay attention to. Going to have to watch to see who's in and who's out. We do have some feelings already, like a Ben Simmons who played on the front leg for Brooklyn, unlikely to suit up, we assume, based off their reporting. We'll sit one of these games up here, going to sit the second leg of that back-to-back. Again, the Orlando Magic, Indiana Pacers, Brooklyn Nets, Houston Rockets, Memphis Grizzlies, New Orleans Pelicans are all your back-to-backs there for this slate. Memphis, New Orleans, of course, playing each other. Maybe Ja sits second leg of a back-to-back with the kind of hampering injuries that he's kind of had off and on.
So what do you think of this? I was thinking that too. And then I went to look at their minutes.
Yeah.
Ja played 24.
Okay.
Desmond Bane played 23. And what is something that you and I had talked about going into that fourth quarter? You were like,
Jared Jackson's still out there?
32 minutes for Jared Jackson still out there. I don't know, just again,
They lost Santi tonight. So it'd be weird for them to extend Jared Jackson and also be down Santi Aldama, but we'll see.
I don't know.
It is New Orleans. New Orleans got blown out by Houston. They definitely don't need to stress test themselves here. Memphis,
I'm not saying anything. I'm just
as we alluded to on the live show and the preview show, blow everybody out. They dominated Toronto. Toronto, though, did not let you down. They played RJ Barrett, Scotty Barnes, 38 minutes. Those guys absolutely smashed. So good on you if you played those two. They nearly doubled RJ Barrett down 30. So all the good vibes happening there. Let's turn our attention to this 8-game slate here, though. Got Jokic, we got Wemby up over 10K, actually up over 11K for both, and then Tatum's $9,900. That's your next guy there. So no Luka. Luka could be out for a while. Grandi and I were discussing that prior to going live here. Second calf injury for Luka. Calf injuries and Achilles injuries are often correlated with one another. So if they were to bring him back too soon, you may end up with an Achilles injury there, and then you're out for a very long time. So all the reporting is that they do not foresee a soon timetable for Luka Doncic. He's likely to miss some extended time. We don't have the actual updates on the exact time frame, but given that we do not expect Luka to be around for a bit, we do have some interesting Dallas Mavericks to discuss in this spot against Phoenix. So we'll get to there as we work our way down. Point guard position gives us James Harden at $9,400 in that late night hammer matchup. Again, Golden State without Steph Curry, maybe no Draymond Green in this matchup on the other side. And then we got maybe, again, John Moran at 86. We'll see if he plays the second leg of a back-to-back. Anthony Edwards, 85. DeJounte Murray, $8,500. Donovan Mitchell, Kyrie Irving, Jalen Brunson, Halliburton, and Suggs. And I rattled off quite a few names there.
And there's still one that stood out more than the rest.
There's definitely one that stood out more than the rest. Where are you looking to build and begin your lineups at the point guard position?
Let's just start with Kyrie. Let's just go right to Kyrie. This is an elite spot.
Mm-hmm.
Phoenix has Ryan Dunn, who is a good, very, very good young on-ball defender. Minnesota has a lot of those guys, and Kyrie went absolutely berserk in that second half. They were down 28, and then Kyrie said, "Hold my beer." And then it was a 2-point game, and they obviously didn't. They fell short, but just when we were playing Kyrie without Luka earlier in the year, he was 90 whatever, right? Yeah. He's $8,300 against the bottom 5 defense in the NBA. 24th officially. It's just too good of a spot to pass. So I think Kyrie stands out more than the rest of the field. I like James Harden quite a bit in tournaments. I like the Clippers side quite a bit. And this Golden State's been pretty dreadful defensively.
Sure.
Ja, if he plays, obviously a great spot. I don't know what the minutes are going to look like on the second leg of a back-to-back, but
and they blow everybody out.
And they just blow everybody out. And looked really good on Christmas as well. I like the price, at least the way it's trending.
Yeah.
This game, I watched it pop up on my screen live. 213.5 implied total is disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
Ant also has a high ceiling at 8,500. So if you want to get to Ant, it's fine. Outside of Kyrie, dude, Donovan Mitchell is really interesting. And I feel like I'm most interested in Donovan Mitchell because the Cavs are kind of the Memphis of the East this year, right? They're just boat racing teams. It's like the Utah game was weird, but like they have blitzed everybody. And all the games that they haven't, you've gotten Donovan Mitchell extended. And like all the games he's been extended, he's been amazing. And
236.5 total, just a 2.5 point spread. Cleveland in Denver as well. It's all trending to be a competitive back and forth game. Those are the games where Donovan Mitchell kind of has it going. Also, I mean, this has absolutely no relevance to his current performance, but Donovan Mitchell, Jamal Murray put on a show like 5 years ago in the playoffs.
It's the bubble.
I don't forget those games. So
they were souped up. They were souped up on Jimmy Butler's coffee.
Yeah, it's true. But like those were vibes. Those are great times to watch those two just battle back and forth against each other there, Utah, Denver. So maybe Donovan, wakes up, has a little blackout moment. He's like, wait a minute, and goes and has himself a day. So I really like Donovan Mitchell at 84. Obviously, point guard, shooting guard eligibility. There was a slate a couple of games ago where you and I were both like really in on Cleveland as well. I forget exactly what that matchup might have been, but it was
the Milwaukee game, and we both played the lone Jared Allen.
Oh yeah,
and I was so mad because I played lone Donovan Mitchell, lone Jared Allen, and both well on their way, and then it just
Allen had a double in like 18 minutes.
Yeah,
we are getting updates here. Fernandez, head coach of the Nets, Ben Simmons might play on Friday.
What?
Jody Fernandez out here saying that Ben Simmons may play the second leg of the back-to-back. So we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
I mean, recipe for a disaster, but like good. Truthfully, like I hope Ben Simmons does. I hope for his sake, I hope he does.
Jalen Brunson versus Orlando's $8,100. We always, again, Ben Simmons, Jalen Brunson rather, always capable of putting up big performances. Had 31 actual against Orlando in Orlando just a few weeks back. So definitely can get there. Halliburton, second leg of a back-to-back. What did Halliburton end up doing tonight against the Thunder? Was it a good game for Halliburton? I think he was off to a good start.
He was doing nothing. Did nothing. 4 actual points.
Oof.
2 for 6 shooting.
Oof.
35 minutes, took 6 shots.
Yeah, not great. I think he got off to a good start when I had looked, but maybe
is that not so indicative of his whole year?
Yeah. Let's see. What was his first quarter looking like? Either way, they're in Boston for this one.
He's going to come out and hit like 4 threes in the first quarter because why wouldn't he? It just makes all the sense of the world. I will say, like, if there was no Drew Holiday, maybe you make a case for like Indiana being able to. There'd be much more open looks if there's no Drew, because like Derek White's good, but Derek White is at his best when him and Drew Holiday are both running around like crazy people together.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed. Suggs had a good game tonight.
He did.
But he's up to 8K now. Yeah, Garland, $7,000. I mean, again, like yes. I like Cleveland a lot here.
Yes, we just the minutes. I mean, he played a lot of minutes the other day. He scored 40 fantasy points.
Yeah.
I mean, he has been really good. Dude, former All-Star that had his mouth wired shut in the middle of last year and was dealing with like a lot of personal stuff.
Yeah, you only need 35 fantasy points for 5X.
Yep.
So that's a really good spot for
It's Garland. A fun game. It's just a fun game. It's just an entire like we didn't Murray was bad the other day, but he played 40 minutes in the Phoenix game. It is what it is. He played 40 minutes. He's probable. He like Westbrook is closing over players. He's like playing.
No, Aaron Gordon now, dude. They may go small lineup with Westbrook here.
I'd assume Peyton Watson.
Oh, I mean, like closing wise.
But close. I mean, but he's closing over either Porter or Christian Brown anyway. Like they're just like playing Westbrook. So you could get you can make a case to get to him.
Yeah, but I'm saying like I wonder if they go there that small lineup more often now without Gordon in that lineup there. Again, 6K tier, 5K tier. Some guys you can always look at Derek White if someone's out. We don't know if Porzingis is going to play or not in this game. Questionable for Boston. We don't know Drew Holiday. Is obviously going to be in or not. So you got him. You got Pritchard. Tyus at $5,600 is in pretty good. Get this matchup against Dallas. Can play LeVert off the bench. I've talked up a lot of LeVert's upside. You have that. But you have Dennis Schroeder with no Steph Curry. Do you like that at $5,300? Like it's going to be his offense probably here.
I mean, he's been terrible. It has been a weird, clunky fit. He has not been good per minute. He has had a pretty good usage rate, saying Steph Curry. I'm not against it. He's obviously been really good. I would say if there's no Draymond too, that would even help him further because we're just, Schroeder's just running the show. Mm-hmm. No Peyton, no Curry, maybe no Draymond. So Steve Kerr would have to run somewhat of a normal rotation. But at least we would think he would run somewhat of a normal rotation. So, I like 53 shooter, point guard, shooting guard. It's good eligibility. I don't want to just scoop past Chris Paul, only because of the minutes were amazing again on Christmas. 36, 35. 4 of the last 5 games, he's played over 30. So, if Chris Paul's gonna get these types of minutes, then I would have interest because as long as he's sub 6K playing 30 plus minutes, then there's a solid connection built between him and Wemby, and I'd be okay.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't mind it. I think there's other guys below I'm a little bit more interested in, but obviously lineup building, he's pretty safe. He's probably a good cash game. We've had a lot of requests about cash game conversations on our shows. Chris Paul definitely fits the mold of a cash game. Mm-hmm. Point guard at $5,800 against Brooklyn. Again, mentioned Schroeder there. Dinwiddie though, I mean, I don't know what to make obviously of the 14 minutes in that game. Maybe it just had to do with the fact that he missed every shot, but I feel like what we've seen a big enough sample size with Luka out of the lineup where Dinwiddie has been the productive play. I would be willing to go back to the well, and if it burns me today for this slate, then I'll know to readjust. But we've seen him go for 40 and 33 fantasy points playing extended minutes as well. So I'm still in on Dinwiddie here.
I think it's a little interesting. One, I don't think he starts. I think Quentin Grimes is probably the starter.
Mm-hmm.
The last game was a little weird because Grimes did get extended. He made a bunch of shots. You mentioned Dinwiddie didn't. But also, they went massive and they played Kleba, PJ Washington, and Derek Lively together to close the game. Like the full fourth quarter. All of them basically played the entire fourth.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do that against Minnesota because, they're running double big at all times. I don't think that you can do that against Phoenix when Kevin Durant is your 4.
Right.
Because they might not even run a big. Like they might just go to that Kevin Durant small ball lineup. And then you're like, oh, well, we can't play any of these guys. Okay. So I do think this game does profile better for Spencer Dinwiddie, but I don't think like he's the priority Dallas guy in this spot. I do think Quentin Grimes, like at a similar price, is a little bit better. Clay is a little bit more expensive.
Grimes played the entire third quarter of that game.
And then they just closed big with the 3 guys with Kleba, Washington, Lively.
Right. Yeah, they had like different. They definitely had weirder rotations. Dinwiddie was almost playing the backup to Kyrie at that point for most of the game, but then he subbed in when Luka got hurt and played sort of with Kyrie Irving for the second quarter.
Yep.
So because they're flexible, there's definitely seemingly a weird groove there. So it could have just as been simple as one guy hit shots, one guy didn't, but I guess we'll see what happens there. Anything else here at point guard for you?
Kevin Porter, 44. We know what he's always live for like, I guess like what does Golden State do? Pajemski at 4K has been playing a bunch lately. It's been up and down production, but there's been a lot of talk from the Warriors about how he looks more like the guy last year, where he's super active, he's everywhere, he's offensive rebounding, whatever. So I do think like if Pajemski's in your starting lineup, there's a case for that at 4K, and I wouldn't be surprised to see some like a solid amount of ownership behind him.
Sure.
Chris Dunn's been playing a lot of minutes lately. You can play Chris Dunn as well. And then, you want to punt Trey Jones, 20 fantasy points in 2 of the last 3. He's barely playing. Like he's not playing a lot, but he's super, super effective when he's on the floor. So there's just a bunch of like, you can play guys down here.
Okay. McBride played 30 minutes.
Remember they benched Towns. You had mentioned it, and they just went because they were just using OG. They just guarded Wemby with OG for the last like 9 minutes of that game.
Sure.
So,
and I guess we see what happens with the Pelicans, right? They are on the second leg of a back-to-back themselves. They've had guys come back from injury like McCollum and Murray and all them. But
Murphy went into Thursday with an injury too.
Right. So we'll see. See what happens there. Shooting guard. Anthony Edwards, Sonny Mitch, Irving, we've talked about. Jaylen Brown under 8K feels like a first time in a little bit. Obviously the Thanksgiving or the Christmas Day slate, everybody kind of got the short slate pricing there, but for the most part, I mean, early November was the last time he was under $8,000. I don't mind it. Again, it's if there's no Porzingis, obviously it kind of helps everybody else there from a usage rate standpoint.
Yep.
Got that there. Beal and Powell. Beal scored again. He's been really good without Booker.
Been really good. That trade stock is flying through the roof right now.
Yeah. Bet the over 20.5 points in that one. That was
Yep.
That was a nice take there. And then Norm. I mean, what more does this guy have to do, right? 28, 29, 29, 29? 4 straight games?
Dude. Him and Ivica Zubac are just so like.
Do you think they want Leonard back? Like Yeah.
Apparently, Kawhi looks like he's like killing everyone at practice. So I'm sure that. Listen, I like sit up here and I say Jamal Mosley for Coach of the Year all the time.
Mhm.
For the Clippers to be where they are, Tyronn Lue probably should be getting some consideration for what's happening there. Because they're about to get, arguably their best player back. And they have definitely been pretty good. I love Brown, Beal, Norm. I'd be good with getting to all three of those guys. The Norm minutes have been unbelievable. 38, 42, 37 minutes for Norm Powell. Just
42
continues.
in a loss to Dallas.
Dude, just continues to not miss shots. He just makes threes. I mean, dude, shooting 47% from three. It's just so insane. And then you mentioned the Beal scoring has been so elite. He obviously benefited from 5 stocks last game, but you want to talk about minutes, 38, 35, 38 in the last 3 games for Beal. And to the JB point, hey man, 20, 29, 23 shots, 43 minutes in a regulation game.
Yeah.
And possibly no KP, possibly no Drew. I mean, we're talking about he's going to take tough defensive assignment and going to have to. I mean, he's really good in situational rebound. I mean, 7 rebounds in a game before Porzingis leaves. Yeah, I mean, he's under 8K. I love that tier right there.
Yep, agreed. Next group down again. Derek White's there, 68. Desmond Bain, 68. Eamon Thompson, 64. If everybody's out for Houston again, you get right back to Eamon Thompson. Nuke, Christmas Slate, and Mikal Bridges. I mean, the minutes are hilarious. 45, 41, 43 the last 3 games for him there. But 41 actual, good to know he's got it in his bag. We almost never see it, but 48 and 59 in 2 of the last 4 games now.
Dude, he has been really good. 55% from 3 over his last 4 games. And you mentioned the minutes are just outstanding. Whatever was going on in the beginning of the year with Mikal Bridges is no longer going on. He is fixed.
Yep. Good 6K price tag. Super fair. Jalen Green nuked tonight as well. Had 30 actual in that game. Again, Minnesota obviously a much tougher defensive team, and Houston on a back-to-back. So take all those things into consideration. Matherin, Clay, $5,400, 6K for those 2 there.
Pritchard.
Yeah, Pritchard for sure. Devin Vassell, 36 minutes. We wanted more out of him, but hard to do more when Wemby did all. So
him and Sohan. And so whatever Wemby didn't do, Sohan did.
But appreciating 38, 32, and 36 minutes a lot in 3 of the last 4. So
and 4 of 4 if not for a blowout.
Yep. And the $5,200 is super fair price tag for him.
Yes.
So good on that. Let's see. Anything else down here that we would play?
Grimes.
Yeah, Grimes for 5K. Traveling Queens, 43. I mean, he did get there again. It wasn't a great game, but
it's the minutes. It more important, just the minutes, right? Too. Yep. He played 37 minutes. I mean, I'm still a little uncertain about the minutes when Harris comes back, but
the pricing going up also hurts a little bit. Yes, 4,300 now.
And if we're not going to know, but Buddy Hield could start here at 42. Yep. Pajemski could start at 4K. The Sam Merrill game happened the other day.
You've been calling out Jalen Wells. I mean, starts and plays minutes.
Yeah, he starts and plays minutes. NAW floor minutes game in a game he actually had a lot of production in, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think there's anything else down here.
Small forward. Working my way up here. Hold on. There we go. Jason Tatum, $9,900. Jason Tatum coming off 62 after he went for 83. You want to talk rebounds?
Yeah, I mean, he's
in back-to-back games now.
Can somebody just please fix this guy's price? Before we I want to go to bed and I want his price to be 10.5.
Against Indiana, is he the highest rostered? Well, he won't be.
No,
obviously, but where does Tatum ownership come in at this slate at $9,900?
Why is he that price?
Is it a third? Also, why does Boston always seem like they're home?
They do play a lot of home games.
Right? No, they play a lot of home games. What's the spread of this game going to be? This spread is Boston giving 11.5, 233, but they've lost. Like, they've been losing games lately. So the Orlando game doesn't show up on here because he didn't play in that game, but lost to Philly, lost to Orlando, lost to Chicago here.
They're 11-point favorites if Zinger and Drew Holiday don't play.
Right. Well, yeah.
I'm not saying they won't win that game. I'm just saying, are they 11 points better without Zinger and without Holiday? Like,
they may not be.
Tatum
feels like a really good value there.
Here's what I think. Kevin Durant is power forward, $600, power forward center, $600 less.
Yeah, all the ownership's right there,
and all the ownership's going to go to him. And sure, right?
Probably playing both, depending on the way these values.
You probably can, but if you can't, the obvious pivot is this guy.
Yeah,
JT for.
Well, that was like what we talked a little bit. Now, obviously, a much greater price discrepancy, but the chalk for the Thursday slate was Trae Young, and we were like, well, SGA is like in a really great spot here.
Right.
And SGA went for 72. Trae still went for 55. Was no knock on him.
He just didn't have 72. He just didn't have 72.
72. Even LaMelo. LaMelo had 30 actuals. Great game for him. Went for probably like
50. He had 50. He had exactly 50 or like 49.
50, right. Yeah. So better game environment, for some, depending against the Wizards and whatnot. But SGA was still the guy there. So at lower ownership. So again, JT's there. Great spot for him. Cam Johnson, 74, always in play. A lot of these guys we've already discussed, from Beal to Powell, Bane. Can always play any of the New York guys if you want. With Hart, OG, and Bridges.
Dude, I've been playing Hart. I've been playing Josh Hart lately. He is just, I know that there are floor games, but man, when he is when the rebounds come, he's smashing. He just smashes every time.
Yep. And I guess it's this DFS DraftKings, they know this because he is always the more expensive wing.
Yep. He's always more expensive, and he's always the least owned.
Yep. Because you can just OG had a stretch of all these 40 fantasy points. Coming off 48 2 games ago against Toronto, went ice cold against San Antonio, gets Orlando here. Again, I don't really want to target. I haven't looked. I would venture to guess this game totals under 200, or sorry, under 210 probably.
It is
211.
211 and a half. Yep.
But Miami, Orlando was what, 89, 90 tonight?
89, 88.
Yeah. It's a gross, slow pace game there. So, not my favorite. Wiggins, no Steph?
Yes. Dude, he's been good. I know the field is flocking to Schroeder. The field is going to flock to insert whatever guard and Kuminga.
If Draymond sits, right?
Everyone plays Trace.
Yeah, but Kuminga, if Draymond sits, will get huge bump.
No one's going to play Wiggins.
No.
He's been great this year. This is 2 years ago Wiggins again.
A handful of 40 fantasy point games lately, and now he's down to 56 when he was over 6K in this range. What a dramatic price dump on him.
Yeah. It's an interesting dump because he's been good, and
Clippers are only 2-point favorites, by the way, in this game at home against a Golden State team without Steph Curry.
It's a little interesting,
right? I always want to bet the Clippers now, which could be a trap. I've been trapped before, but
you should.
Doesn't that feel like a Clippers home no Steph feels like a?
You should bet the Clippers now.
It feels like a win to me.
You want to pause the You want to pause the show real quick, and
you gonna drive up? You gonna drive up over state lines for you?
Do you want to get that in, or
I'll bet it afterwards. Scott Wiggins there. You called out Royce O'Neal just playing heavy minutes, 30 fantasy points, filled in the stat sheet. nothing sexy, but
off the bench last game too.
Gets the job done there. Braun, Grimes, we talked about. De Silva was good again. Do you think De Silva keeps it going against the Knicks though?
Dude, he played 39 minutes. 39.
First round pick on him, and they're letting him play.
18, 6, 2, 1 and 1.
Yep, hitting his threes, which again, it's a shot maker show. You hit your shots, you're on a score, right? So
100% would be interested in De Silva. Why not? If he's going to play, if there's a 36 to 39 minute like out range for sure.
Yeah.
Just go to dude. Stop this.
Drew's is going to eventually be a good play.
Just go. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
All right. So here's the deal: if Dylan Brooks and Tari Eason are out again, and I still venture to think if Tari Eason plays, I think this is more of a Dylan Brooks.
So you're saying one?
What?
One has to be out, and the one is Dylan Brooks.
I think it has to be Dylan Brooks because if Dylan Brooks plays, Dylan Brooks will start and he'll play 40 minutes.
And he'll play all the minutes, yep.
Right? But right now, with Dylan Brooks and Atari Eason out, like Jayshawn Tate played, 17 tonight?
He played...
And like Reed Shepard played like 19 minutes.
Yeah, it's also tough to...
Jayshawn played 17. Reed played 18. Now, Reed played all blowout in the end of that quarter as well, as did Cam Whitmore. So that can't be understated that Cam Whitmore's final 15 of his 27 minutes or end of third quarter, entire fourth quarter. But for the second straight game, he played 27 minutes and he scored 27 actual in those 27 minutes, 9 of 16 shooting, 4 of 8 from 3. Against Charlotte, 27 minutes, 7 of 16 from the floor, 17-8, 32 fantasy points. Minnesota's a tougher spot. Obviously, the pricing is coming up on him a little bit. He was 4K. He's 4,200 now. I think Dylan Brooks has to be the one that's out. I think Tari Eason can absorb the Jayshawn Tate forward minutes, and they can kind of negotiate all those things around there. I would prefer both of them to be out just to kind of secure the minutes there, because again, it can't go understated. The last 2 games were blowouts, and Cam Whitmore played the entire fourth quarter. Yep. If this is a competitive game against Minnesota, who would he be playing over? He's not playing over Van Vliet, Green, Thompson, Jabari, or Şengün. So he's probably not on the floor for a whole quarter. He might get on the floor for a little bit of it because he has to play the backup minutes to the guard spot.
Yeah, just the wings. He's just on the wing. Yeah.
But so there's the qualifier. But our guy Cam Whitmore's been an absolute bucket for the last couple of games that he's been on the floor. So take that into some consideration there.
I think you basically nailed it because they just play their starters such heavy minutes.
Yeah.
So
now they haven't been shy at times of sitting Jalen Green.
No, they have not. No, they have not.
If Cam Whitmore goes out there and knocks down 4 straight threes, he may just let them play because you need the points. But again, there's a lot of risk. I really would rather have both out. If I had to pick one to be out again, I'd pick Dylan Brooks to be the guy to be out. But you can really go either way there. I don't think there's anything else down here.
All I wanted to say, and I'm unsure of it, but I'll get your take here. Independent of blowout run, Luke Kennard, 3,200. Aldama got hurt.
He did.
So we don't know what the status is going to be. He played 25 minutes, 15 and 8. He had 8 assists off the bench. Again, I'm not sitting here suggesting that
he played a lot of Laravia as well.
They did. Laravia played 21. Kennard played 25. Clark played 20 off the bench. I'm just saying, no Smart, no Huff, no Vince, possibly no Aldama, right?
Yeah.
If there's none of those guys, your 6th man is Pippen is your backup point guard. Him and Ja just split. Kennard, Laravia is probably your bench. And Clark. That's your and then maybe they get Conchar some minutes because, it's Memphis and they have to play as many people as they possibly can. Yeah. But at $3,200, you want to talk about a guy who may play mid-20s minutes on an offense that just put up 155 and is playing at the fastest pace in the league. Yeah. I know the game prior, Luke Kennard had 0 fantasy points, and I know he has also flashed an incredibly low floor. Yeah. But I
think in the blowout run of I only mentioned Laravia because I think he was on the floor in the blowout run for them tonight too.
He was,
and I don't think Kennard was on the floor for them. So that's kind of where my maybe slight drawback on that list.
Well, Triple J was. We didn't think he would be.
Obviously, the pricing helps Kennard, $3,200.
So in the fourth quarter, to start the fourth, Triple J, Scottie Pippen, Luke Kennard, Brandon Clark, John Concher.
This to add more funds.
That was. I'm just looking at. Nothing's updated, so I'm just using ESPN for reference. Kennard played the whole fourth quarter.
Okay.
He played all 12 minutes of the fourth. So he played 13 minutes prior to that. So you would need a blowout, basically. But he did play the entire fourth, all 12.
Okay, fair enough. Obviously the pricing's in his favor. I do like Laravia at 41.
Agreed.
If we're gonna sort of really go in some of that game theorying as well. Power forward, as we talked about, Tatum's there. Durant probably gonna be pretty popular as he always is at $9,300. Yeah. Then you do get the Cleveland guys. We'll talk about Jared Allen, obviously, but Evan Mobley, $7,600. Back-to-back 50 bombs for Evan Mobley. He's again, I really like Denver and Cleveland. I like this matchup here.
Same.
So I think you can play anything in this spot. We'll see what happens with Triple J. You get PJ Washington, no Luka, 69. Michael Porter, maybe leaned on a little bit more to $6,400. Sohan, 62.
Michael Porter's been really good lately. Three of his last 4 games over 30, last 2 games over 20 actual. I would probably play Sohan over him, but they're both super good in this lower 6K range. If anyone sits, obviously Triple J has been great. I really like Julius Randle. I didn't mean to skip past them, and I know this is a tough spot. I've really liked him doing this version of Julius Randle, like this, instead of just like the I'm going to score Julius Randle, it's the, oh yeah, I can be a really good playmaker when my team needs me. And also I can rebound. Back-to-back near triple doubles for Julius Randle. And I said it on the Christmas Day slate, and I only had a couple shares. I was too light, and I wanted more, and I just didn't get to him. I think 7,100 is just severely underpriced when Julius Randle's playmaking like the way he has. So I like Randle. I like Triple J. PJ, no Luka, we know is a dog. Porter, Sohan. I like that whole tier right there.
Yeah, and we've talked a lot of Sohan, right? Obviously, he's been unbelievable since coming back into that lineup. Again, I think we talked about this Pacers game too, right? We were kind of like, oh, they're messing around with his minutes and they're not doing it, and goes and scores 26 actual, like basically a lot of and later in that game. 28 minutes against the Lakers, he was fine, but if there's no Draymond, no Curry, like Curry has to play him, right? $5,500 here.
Yeah, and I think even if Draymond plays, like he is definitely live to play a lot of minutes. Just given they need his offense. I will say, I don't know how much small ball they could do here, just with how many minutes the Clippers play Zubats. And like, are you comfortable with Draymond against Zubats? Because that dude Zubats is just a massive human being. Where like against the Lakers, when Davis went down, they could just take Trace Jackson Davis off the floor because Lakers weren't running a big. So, just be weary, a little cautious, I would say, with Kuminga if Draymond does play, because I don't think they can go small with Zubats on the other side of the floor. Yep. But we'll see. But we've also seen plenty of teams do it. So
sure. All right. Where else are we looking to go here? Power forward, we're working our way under the 5K range.
I mean, Horford, if there's no zinger. Naz Reid in tournaments, even though he was terrible the other day. Noah Clowney started again. He was really good again. So you can play Noah Clowney. Peyton Watson's going to be really popular. I think that's probably where people go. $4,400 had started for Aaron Gordon. Basically every game Aaron Gordon was out earlier in the year and was very productive. $4,400. Is this the best spot in the world for Peyton Watson? No. Evan Mobley's been really, really good. So it's not the best. I forgot Obi Toppin's not going to play in this game.
Yeah, he got hurt.
They had announced that. What did they do? 22 minutes to Ben Shepherd off the bench. That was their. Jarris Walker played 15.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm just trying to like see if what they did with the extra minutes. Keldon's like not playing anymore. He feels like someone who could be traded.
Would they slow-mo us here?
It's very possible. It's very possible.
Not fun. It's just mentioning.
Maybe no. With no Aldama, we get extra Brandon Clark run too.
Sure. Center's got Jokic and Wemby.
Yep.
The Joker here, back-to-back like games, right?
Yeah, I heard someone say that they think he's protesting.
Protesting?
Yeah, I heard someone say, I was listening to a podcast, and they said they think that Jokic is like forcing his teammates to do more.
Just by like not being every shot, every play.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And that obviously that's probably not
true, but it could be. Who knows? You got to decide between him or spend $800 less and play Victor Wembanyama.
Am I crazy?
Objectively been better than Jokic the last 4 games.
Like
240 bombs.
It's not an
8-block game.
Dude, it's not. This isn't me saying that I think Wemby's a better player than Jokic, but like,
yeah, he probably is. It's the second year in the league.
No, well, he'll
Ceiling
be a better. No, dude. Yeah, I mean I think
Jokic is not this defender. Right?
Jokic is the best player in basketball, though.
Sure.
Right now. What do you mean sure?
Probably.
Dude, don't be prisoner of the moment. Wemby's not the best player in the world.
I didn't say he was. But...
Jokic has been the best player in the league for right now. That guy in a fantasy perspective. I don't know.
Yeah.
Dude, he's taking 16 threes, 16, 13, and 15 threes.
No doubt.
What do you even do with that?
I mean, like, again, while Jokic has the assist numbers, he does not have the defensive numbers that Victor Wembanyama puts up. So, like, while Jokic will triple-double you more often to get, like, the fantasy ceiling production, he's never going to give you 8, 10, 7 blocks like we've gotten in 3 of the last 5 games from Victor Wembanyama. Like,
I mean, dude, he's literally had 5 stocks in 5 straight games.
Yeah. That's crazy fantasy.
And you look at, it's like, I mean, dude, there's just nothing
you put him on the cover of your Christmas Day playbook, and he just, from the very first game of the slate, was the Knicks Spurs, and it was over. If you didn't, like, if you played them, you're a pretty good chance of cashing that day.
12% in the big 25.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, I just think you're just saving money, and now maybe that gives you incentive to want to play a lower owned Jokic. Because Wemby's going to be higher owned.
Probably.
But he's going to be higher owned.
I would assume so. Dude, again, these games haven't really been... He's not paying off his price tag.
No, he's not. Oh, man, Wemby is it's so hard to not play Wemby. It's just so hard to not play Wemby.
I think we are probably going to play him. Now, you could play Durant at the 5. Towns got benched. Still played 30 minutes. Got benched in that game. Second time now, he's basically got benched and got in foul trouble against the Pelicans. Dominated Toronto as we all assumed he would. The $9,600 though, he's back under 10K.
Every game that he plays full minutes in, he demolishes.
Mm-hmm. And we were begging him, put him over 10K. Why is he $9,600? Now again, I get Orlando, slow pace, yada yada yada. He had 58 against them. 22 and 22 in that game.
He did. Real numbers.
So I don't know. You've been calling out Zubac all season long. He's been as good as Towns.
Dude, he has been amazing.
Yeah.
He's been amazing. 40 minutes in a regulation game. I watched that game for a second, John. They took him off the floor. I think Jaren Jackson scored 2 baskets, and they literally I saw Ty Lue go to the bench and put him back in the game. Less than a minute, they were like, dude, we can't take you off the floor.
Yeah.
40 minutes.
He's been dominating this year. So Again, obviously I say like he's been as good as Towns. That's not obviously truth, but $7,600 compared to $9,600 for a guy that's given you 50 in 2 of the last 3 and 40 plus pretty consistently this year. Like
he went for 60 against Golden State earlier in the year.
Yeah. Yep. No, again, Zubac's really great. If Porzingis does play, I would have no problem paying $7,200 for him. He's not going to be limited. They're not going to play him and limit him. They'll just play him full go or sit him. So it's going to be one or the other there. Jared Allen at $6K. He's got to deal with Jokic, but $6K Jared Allen's a good price.
Yep, it is.
What else you like here? Go back to Edie. Well, $5K is cheaper than he was on the slate.
Yeah, and they want to develop him. So if they blow out, they're going to put him on the floor.
Remember they checked him back in today. Up 40. Checked him back in the game.
If it's a blowout, then he's playing he's just playing like he's starting. And we've said it 100 times for the last 5 games. There's been no Jay Huff. So, like, his minutes have just been extended. And he's playing in all scenarios. And
then we have Trace Jackson Davis here, 26 minutes against the Lakers, 31 fantasy points.
Yeah, he's chalk. He's super chalk. And, like, no reason not to think he doesn't get those minutes again. They're playing a guy who's massive on the other side of the floor.
We've been so close to double-doubles, too, right? Just like that bonus there to give you more fantasy upside.
Yeah, and he's been great. And he's been, even without it, he's been super great.
Did we get any Obi minutes or any Thomas Bryant minutes at all today?
We did 10.
10, okay.
But, 22 from Shepard, 15 from Jarris Walker, 19 from McConnell. So they just went small. Siakam, 31. Or Turner, 33. So they just, did what they do.
Murder Cornet? 4K?
If Zinger's out. Yeah. If Zinger's out. I saw they dusted off Cato for 8 minutes, took away some of the center minutes there in the second half, which sucked.
All right. So you want to play Wemby? Seems like.
Yeah, probably. And then like deciphering who plays for Golden State. Like TJD is obviously good. Wiggins, Schroeder, Pods. I mean, there's a lot to like about. I know it's a terrible spot.
Yeah,
there's still a lot to like about Golden State. They're so cheap. They're
did
so
you play
cheap.
Trace Jackson Davis or did you play Zach Edey?
Ooh,
that's like a double.
Yeah, we got it. Yeah, we got double center. Yeah, it's true. Probably. I mean, it just depends. Probably Edey if the salary didn't matter. If we needed money, then TJD.
If we need it, then. All right. What do we want to do?
It's a $700 difference. We technically have $700 buffer at some.
Yeah. You mentioned Kevin Porter. Can get some value there. You see, Pod's obviously already been playing.
Yeah, Pod's been good. Pod's been playing a bunch of minutes.
All right. So we got that. What do we want to do next? I mean, I don't think we can get Tatum in here. It'd be 5K play.
Yeah.
Have to jam it in if we wanted to do that.
De Silva, 45.
Yeah, De Silva was a good shout. Silva, put him there for now. All right, De Silva. Durant would be 54. Can make that work, right? Good Pod.
Yeah.
Pod. Do I already have him? I already have him. That's why. Shooting guard.
Vassell or Schroeder. We'd put
sure.
Or Wiggins.
Grimes.
Yeah, good with Grimes.
I'm still good with Wiggins though. Wiggins is still fine there. As I guess a 56 guard.
Just be Schroeder, which fits.
Or Clay.
Or Tyus. Yeah, I mean there's or Vassell. All 4 of those names right there.
Or if we wanted $700 more, right? We can.
Oh yeah, we have 700. Yeah.
Amen. I guess could be a play, or Mikal or Jalen Green or something like that. So, but we example lineups. $700 more would get us the Tatum, Trace Jackson Davis up.
Sure. Yeah.
If we wanted to do that, I mean, would you rather Edey and Durant or Tatum and Trace Jackson Davis?
Edey and Durant.
Probably Edey and Durant, right?
Yeah. It's close.
All right. Pods, Grimes, De Silva, Durant, Wemby, Thompson, Wiggins, Edie, example lineup. I'm on your playbook for Friday. We'll be back live at 5 p.m., so get ready for that. Make sure you check out our holiday sale still going on, 50% off the All-Pro monthly subscription. Sign up today, become a member of the Fantasy Star family for $19.98 a month for all of 2025 if you sign up and stay with us for the year. James and I, again, will be back at 5 p.m. Eastern time to break down the Friday main slate. We'll catch you later.